Right now at 4, more federal agents will be patrolling the streets of D.C. as President Trump escalates his threat to take over the nation's capital. Thanks for joining us for News 4 at 4. I'm Un Yang.
America Gonzalez sources tell News 4 the increased presence could include agents from DHS, from ICE, from the FBI, from the National Guard even. The directive coming from the White House is aimed at fighting violent crime, which D.C. police data shows is down compared to this time last year.
News 4's Paul Wagner is live near the Capitol today. Paul, what do we know about when we could see any of these changes?
Well, a couple hours ago, I spoke with D.C. Police Chief Pamela Smith, and she told me that she was aware that there were being plans put into place for a increased federal law enforcement presence here in D.C., but she said she had not been briefed, and it was her understanding those plans were being put together by the Make D.C. Safe and Beautiful Task Force, and that is made up of a number of federal agencies, including the U.S. Attorney's Office here in D.C., but we're told that this plan would also include the National Guard, which is not trained for law enforcement other than to support law enforcement. It's not their primary role.
Washington, D.C. is already home to a number of federal law enforcement agencies who work closely with D.C. police on a daily basis, from the FBI to the ATF to the U.S. Park Police. What role additional resources will play is still in question. At a news conference today, U.S. Attorney Janine Piro was asked what she knew about the plan.
My understanding is that both the Trump administration as well as the Metropolitan Police Department are looking to increase law enforcement efforts because of the violence we're seeing across this country, across this city. I'm not sure specifically what you're referring to, but we just have too much crime.
What appears to have touched a nerve with President Trump is the assault of a 19-year-old former DOGE employee last Sunday on Swan Street Northwest that left the man bloodied. Police classified it as an unarmed carjacking. Police say the two victims were not hospitalized. 2 teens were arrested on the scene. Others got away.
What a shame. The rate of crime, the rate of muggings, killings, and everything else, we're not going to let it. And that includes bringing in the National Guard, maybe very quickly, too.
Outside the D.C. Armory today, there was activity with soldiers loading Humvees, but a spokesman for the National Guard tells News 4 it was part of a routine training exercise planned for this weekend. Still, President Trump has threatened to have the federal government take over control of the city, a threat the U.S. Attorney was asked if she supported.
That is a decision for the president. And I think that what the president was saying is that we're seeing far too much crime being committed by young people, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, that I can't get my hands on.
Now, at this hour, News 4 continues to reach out to our sources to try and understand when this plan may be in place, but the sources were telling us, and emphatically this morning, that this plan could be in place by tonight or tomorrow morning. So that's the latest from here outside the Capitol. Now back into you.
All right, Paul Wagner live for us on Capitol Hill. Paul, thank you.